Alrighty, what is already pretending here, back with another Honkai Star video, and today I'm going to be talking about why some characters, mainly DPSs, will be receiving a pretty nice buff in 2.1. I say most DPSs, but this does tailor to 4 specific ones, technically 5, but the main ones it will be affecting is Argenti, Himeko, Herta, and Jing Yuan. Before I get to the video, guys, drop a like on the video, hit the sub icon, turn on the bell for future videos like this, along with other type of guides, showcases, news, summon, all that kind of stuff. I have made a Discord that you guys can join with the link in the description below, so definitely make sure to join if you're cool. And let's get straight into the video. So again, you may ask why DPSs, specifically these 4, will be getting a buff, and that is because of the new Planner Ornament set. This one will be available alongside with the Izumo set, which will be Acheron's best Planner Ornaments, which means you'll probably get a lot of these in the byproduct of running that new simulated universe. What this one does is increases the wearer's crit rate by 4%. When an enemy target gets defeated, the wearer's crit damage increases by 4%, stacking up to 10 times. Now you may be asking why these specific characters are benefiting so much from this. You will notice why I talk about these 4 characters is because this will mainly be a very nice buff in the Pure Fiction game mode. And as we do know, Herta, Himeko are the queens of Pure Fiction at the moment. Argenti is another very solid unit due to his looping capabilities and his ult. And we do know with the release of Sparkle, Jing Yuan has received such a nice buff with Lightning Lord and just being able to tear through enemies with his Lightning Lord. So the reason it's mainly good in Pure Fiction is because, as we do know, Pure Fiction rapid fires enemies at you that you want to kill as soon as possible to get as many points as possible, reaching the end as quickly as possible. And as we do know, to get the max stacks on this Planner Ornament, you have to kill up to 10 enemies. In Pure Fiction, 10 enemies is not even close to how many you have to end up killing to get the best score. And now with this, you pretty much easily stack up to this. And so now, once you do have it stacked, you have a whopping 40% crit damage bonus on your characters. For Jing Yuan, Herta, Himeko, and Argenti, who all do benefit from having good crit damage, this is absolutely insane. And this also does affect a bunch of other DPSs. So the reason, again, I mentioned these 4 characters in particular is because of what they can do. So let's go through each character real quick, just so you know why they're so good with it. For Argenti, as we do know, he doesn't have a regular ultimate. Well, he does, but he has the other ultimate where you can go up to double the energy to get an even more powerful ultimate that does hit more times. As we just see, it consumes 90 energy and deals physical damage equal to 160% of Argenti's attack to all enemies. But once you get to the 180 energy, pretty much going all the way to max, you consume 180 energy and deals physical damage equal to 280% of Argenti's attack to all enemies. And further deals damage for 6 extra times, with each time dealing physical damage equal to 95% of Argenti's attack to a random enemy. As we do know, this AoE hits everyone. It is absolutely insane, and with this ultimate, he also can loop pretty easily. You ever played FGO? You know we love our looping characters. He is the closest we'll get to that, and with that, his ult is also just so powerful to the point you practically kill anyone, especially if it is the 180 energy, because it just completely shreds through them. And so hitting anyone with this will probably kill anyone that you're fighting, albeit probably not the final bosses, but you already have it built by the time you get to a boss. So for the most part, killing the smaller enemies is super easy with this AoE, easily racking up to the 10 kills you need, giving him up to a 40% crit damage with 4 Argenti. 40% crit damage extra from just a Planner Ornament is crazy. Especially combining that you can get more from someone's broken keel. If you're running Hanya and you're maybe running the Pentaconi set on your Hanya to boost Argenti's damage, all that kind of stuff you can get with the 40% crit damage he's giving himself, insane. Not only that, Argenti can give himself a bunch of crit rates, so you don't have to worry about too much crit rate, and this new ornament also does give him crit rate. Just giving crit rate in general and a bunch of crit damage, this set is insane for Argenti. Moving on to Himeko, as you do know, Himeko's skill doesn't really do too much damage. Her ult can do some pretty nice damage, and also does kill for each enemy defeated, so not only are you getting energy back now, you are also racking up the new ornament. Main stuff, why she's so good in Pure Fiction is because of her talent Victory Rush. When an enemy is inflicted with weakness break, Himeko gains 1 point of charge. If Himeko is fully charged when an ally performs an attack, Himeko immediately performs 1 follow-up attack and deals fire damage equal to 140% of her attack to all enemies, consuming all charge points. At the start of the battle, Himeko gains 1 point of charge. As we do know, pairing her with anyone else that's a DPS, like you can put her with Argenti, with Herta, anything like that, we do know Victory Rush is absolutely insane when it procs, pretty much killing everything on that field, again, be it not a boss. at the final levels at least, Victory Rush absolutely shreds through them. So Himeko is another prime candidate that can easily rack up this new ornament. So Himeko also gets a nice hefty 40% crit damage bonus from this just because of her AoE hitting even harder. And now with the new ornament, hits even harder, and you also get that 4% crit rate, which obviously very nice for your build. And then you can also maybe allocate less crit damage on your relics and give her some more stuff like speed so she can attack more for hitting fire, weakness break, all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff you can do with her is so good, and her victory match just hits so much harder with this. Now with Herta is also crazy just because of her ultimate and follow-up attack just hitting really hard, and also just being a full AoE. Herta is also free, so everyone can build Herta. And now building what this says, we do know her ultimate is very basic, just deals ice damage equal to 200% of Herta's attack to all enemies, which in Pure Fiction is actually just insane for some reason, just hits really hard. And her talent, when an ally's attack causes an enemy's HP percentage to fall to 50% or lower, Herta will launch a follow-up attack dealing ice damage equal to 40% of Herta's attack to all enemy. Which is just also really good because when this follow-up attack does proc, which is really easy to do, especially with the smaller enemies, it hits really hard, just like the other ones. So pairing her, again, like I said, you can pair her with Himeko. Himeko doesn't, sometimes in the later stages might not absolutely just shred through and kill with her ultimate or follow-up attack. But if she gets them below to 50%, then Herta follow-up attacks and kills, and then racking up more stacks for the planet ornament. And obviously Herta would also benefit a lot from 40% more crit damage, because again, what DPS wouldn't? So this also is really good for her. Again, mentioning the 4% crit rate is also a little nice bonus on top. Not only that, Herta's Eidolons are pretty easily obtained, and a lot of people have her E6 and some of them are still free. So you have the first one, if an enemy's HP percentage is at 50% or less, Herta basic attack deals additional ice damage equal to 40% of Herta's attack. Second one, every time talent is triggered, the character's crit rate increases by 3% and can stack up to 5 times, giving you effectively a 15% crit rate bonus if you do proc the talent. And most part, when you do proc a follow-up attack, it will kill. So not only are you racking up the new ornament for more damage, you are also giving her more crit rate from the E2. Fourth one, when the talent is triggered, damage increases by 10%, so now your follow-up attack is doing more damage, ensuring that it probably will kill. And the final Eidolon, after using ultimate, this character's attack increases by 25% for one turn. So if you all get them below 50%, this also will apply to that. That follow-up attack next will hit really hard, and just her attacks in general will hit hard. So Herta is also insanely great with this. And now Jing Yuan. As we all do know, Jing Yuan, pretty much himself not that crazy, but the fact that his Lightning Lord, building it up to 10 stacks, hits super hard, and also being able to be AoE is just really good. And so for the most part, his ultimate still can kill enemies to help you rack it up here, but mainly the hits from Lightning Lord will be the play. So building it up to 10, when you do kill enemies, you'll rack up this just because it's easy to get 10 kills when you do build Lightning Lord up. So Lightning Lord will also receive such a nice buff when it attacks, because it also does benefit from crit rate, crit damage, all that stuff, because it can crit. So not too much to explain about Jing Yuan here, but pretty much his ultimate still can hit hard, and this also does benefit his ultimate, so when you do crit, 40% crit damage. Same mainly with the Lightning Lord, hitting 10 times. Imagine if they all crit, that is going to absolutely shred through the field, and also make it really easy to build up the new ornament. And now, as I mentioned, it doesn't only benefit those 4 characters. While yes, Argenti, Himeko, Herta, and Jing Yuan are pretty much like the top of Pure Fiction right now, it still benefits all the other characters that are really good in Pure Fiction. Obviously, mainly being the DPSs, so if you do use Danheng, it's very easy to build up with him just because his fully enhanced basic attack will shred through anything. Jinglu, when you are in transform state, she practically also will absolutely kill anything when you do use the skill, so it's really easy to rack up with her. Blade, when you are in his skill enhanced form, it's obviously gonna be able to kill too because his basic attack is really hard, and if you do ult with him, that also hits really hard. So he's another really good option that can use it. Zele, as you know, when you kill one, you proc Resurgence, get another turn, keep going. So you often just keep getting kills, keep your turn going. Ultimate practically will kill any little enemy. So with Zele, it's also really easy to rack up. Clara was the other 5th character I wanted to mention on this, as we do know Clara is also insane for Pure Fiction when they are weak to normal. So she is another fantastic option to use this on, especially with several counters, just being able to absolutely shred through anything. Being able to use several counters by just getting hit, having her increase chances to get hit. Also being able to have her ultimate up and use a several counter anytime anyone in your team gets hit. It's really easy to rack up the new planet ornament with Clara. And any follow-up characters you might be using, like Topaz with Ratio. Upcoming character Evan Shurin also can do this really well if you are using him as a DPS sustain hybrid. Acheron, if you are going to use her in Pure Fiction, which I don't know how well she fares in Pure Fiction yet, but if you do end up using her, and let's say she's good, this is going to be really good for her. Now, the only time you might not want to use this planet ornament is only 2 reasons. One, if you are using a Nihility team on it, so Kafka, Gunaifen, Black Swan, all that kind of stuff. That's when you don't want to use this, obviously, because they don't really benefit from crit damage. But the only other case you might want to use it is if you are having crit damage that is so high to the point you receive diminishing returns. For the most part, the only characters that really will ever get to that level is going to be maybe Acheron, but mainly Jing Yuan. These are the two characters that only probably will be the ones that could get up to diminishing returns. But for the most part, any of these four and the other characters like Blade, Dele, Danhang, all that kind of stuff, you really, for the most part, will not see diminishing returns on a DPS character. If you have, you probably have a God build, but the only reason not to use it in Purification is if you are going to see diminishing returns or you're using a dot character. And for the most part, you won't see diminishing returns because, again, if you have so much crit damage to the point you see diminishing returns, you either have a really weird build where you have no crit rate, no other stats, and just a bunch of crit damage, or you just have an absolute perfect build. Now, I'm obviously not saying that you have to absolutely switch your other planar ornaments to this. Like, obviously, running Glamoth is going to be fine. Running the new set on Acheron is going to be fine. Running Rudolin Arena or Inner Salsado, they're all still fine, but this one just provides the biggest bonus. 4% crit rate with up to 40% crit damage is going to have the best results, just because 40% is a lot higher than what everything else has to provide. And then again, that also just ties into the fact that if you are seeing diminishing returns on your crit damage, then obviously something like Glamoth or Inner Salsado or Rudolin Arena, that's going to be better, but for the most part you won't, so overall this will be the best one for Purification. And lastly, you obviously don't want to put it on your supports, because supports are not the ones that are damaged, so putting it on your whole forward Wocho would be very weird. The only character that could potentially use it is Acheron, just because, again, he does have a sustained DPS build, which is very, very viable, and if you are building him as a DPS/sustain, then you can potentially use this if you are using him in Purification. So again, for the most part, this D-Relic set coming out in 2.1 will directly affect these four mainly, but again, any other DPS in the Purification game mode. Sadly, outside of Purification, it won't be super crazy, but Purification is a big mod, and it still can be used in something like Memory of Chaos, because there are a good amount of enemies you have to fight in Memory of Chaos. So in Memory of Chaos, it can also be really good depending on how many enemies they throw at you. The new relic set will be great for any DPSs, again, just because 40% crit damage and 4% crit rate is going to be extremely nice on anyone, but mainly these four just because they shred through it, and then you can also put Clara there. But again, any DPS will benefit a bunch from it. And so yeah, that has been the video. For the question of the day, let's go with, what's your favorite voice line in Honkai Star Rail? Yeah, let's go with that, I guess. Anyway, that's been the video. Peace out.